Welcome back to Greenwich Valley for episode 11 with me, MrSealyp. It's just turned 6:38 in the morning and I'm heading into the farm. Another nice early start. Stuart is already out. He's grabbed the old JCB, left me with a new one, which is fantastic, and he's over on field 12 spraying. As you've already seen, we did a couple of spray contracts, 3 contracts before we went to bed last night. He's now picking up that one, and then I think there's another one available on field 38, which is also over that side, which maybe he'll crack on with. So what am I doing? We're going to take the new JCB, the trial one. We've got 20 hours on this is what we've got for the trial. We're on 3.3 already, so once 20 hours is up, this will either go back, we buy a new one, or potentially we might get an offer on this one. Like I said in the previous episode, we won't buy this one because we're going to mess this one up. Potentially though, because they want us to buy a new JCB. I mean, that's the point of trial hours. A lot of tractor manufacturers will give you trial hours on something, especially when a new vehicle comes out, especially with YouTube these days, because you've got a lot of guys out there YouTubing, people like Millennial Farmer, Welker Farms, and anyone, all the guys that are doing YouTube videos, especially with big followings. Big companies know it's cheap or free advertising. Let's be honest, they chuck some trial hours at you. You use their vehicle and say how fantastic it is now, once you love it, especially if you then go ahead and buy one. But even if you're not doing YouTube videos, I know where I went to do my tractor driving experience, the farm were a John Deere farm. I think there were three brothers who had separate farms, but they run it as one unit. One did arable, one did sheep, and the other one did, was it cows? I can't remember now. And the guy that I did my tractor driving experience with was the one that was diversifying, and they do hen do's and stag do's and tractor driving experiences and ploughing, all sorts of stuff you can do, which is brilliant. And they have a lot of manufacturers come out to try and pull them away from John Deere. They will offer them all sorts of deals and discounts and all sorts of things, because they know, especially on a farm like that, if you can get your machinery onto all 3 farms, you're not just going to sell one tractor, you could potentially sell 3 with then follow-on products and all the rest of it. So it's why companies chuck trial hours at people. So yeah, I mean, I like the JCB on here. I really do want to stress as well again on this, I know a lot of people are suggesting stuff, and I really do appreciate it, and some ideas I'm kind of running with. I said right from the word go, this one is for me. This is just, it's for me to enjoy. Yeah, I'm doing a storyline, and that's fantastic, and I really enjoyed that just for my own enjoyment of a game. Even if I'm not recording, I like in my head to have a story, to have a storyline, a reason for doing something. Otherwise, I know I've said this so many times on Let's Plays, you can end up, it can get a bit stale. You know, there's only so many things you can do on, you know, when a new map comes out. I love that. I love a new map. I love exploring a new map. I love going around a new map. When you start a let's play on a new map, you know, learning the idiosyncrasies of that map, the machinery you can get away with and use, the different places you can go to, the sell points, and you're still kind of in your head going through a narrative. But if you just get on the game and play to make as much money as you can as quickly as you can kind of lose that excitement, unless that's what it is that drives you. You know, if you set yourself a target to say, you know, and I've said this before as well, it may well be you decide, I'm gonna, before I finish this let's play myself, I will own every map on every field on the map, or I will reach £5 million. That's what that's my goal. So everyone will do it for different reasons, but like I say, I do appreciate, you know, all the stuff that's being sent in, all the suggestions, all the ideas. One thing I will say, and it's, I suppose it's a minor pet peeve of mine, I guess, is either people that aren't watching the videos or are watching little bits or the start and they're not watching any and then suggesting things. I would suggest watch the video. You know, I'm doing whatever I'm doing and you can see what I'm doing. I don't hide anything from anybody, and you know the concept. I'm trying to clear the debt for the family on here. You know, for Mick and Stuart, their grandfather passed away. That's the point. You know, I've taken this on as a challenge to help them and make a difference. So when I'm using certain machinery and equipment, it's because we've got a budget. We're trying to make as much money as we can, as quickly as we can. So saying, you know, you should use this equipment, that equipment, you can do it faster, quicker, but the things that are being suggested are £500,000 bits of machinery, or, you know, doing a process that at this stage with this farm, it just won't fit, it won't work. It's, you know, it'll be all of a sudden if I came back and said, oh look, we've got a brand new class Lexion. Where from? How have we suddenly got a Lexion? So you have to kind of think along the lines of where is the storyline going? What fits? And it's the same as I do when I do subscriber contracts. You know, watch the videos and kind of have a think to yourself, if you were going to suggest something, what fits what I'm doing? That's kind of how. There we go. Contract on field 12 finished, and all the time of me driving up here and saying all that, we're now here. So happy days. But you want to know one problem with being here right now is I'm at the wrong place. I was so busy talking. I drove past. I knew I was going to come here, but not in this machine. Actually, you know what? While we're here, what we're going to do, we're going to lease a tanker, because we're going to start moving the Digestate, and we're going to take that to the cow farm to Jeremy. It's free money. At the end of the day, that's a byproduct. We were paid for everything we put into the biogas plants, all the silage bales that went in. We got paid for that. The byproduct of that process is the Digestate, which we can now sell on. So that in essence is free. It would be free fertiliser if I was deciding to use that as a fertiliser instead. It's free. It's a source. It's come from the animals. We've already been paid. The process has been done. It's extra. It's free money. It doesn't matter if it's not much money. If we sell all of it and only make 10 grand, it's still 10 grand for technically nothing. All we've got to do is cover the cost of leasing this, which is going to be... I'm trying to decide really what to do for the best here. I'm thinking ease of use and speed. We're going to go with that. 40 grand to buy it, 2065. So we've got to make 2065. And what we want to try and do as well is get all the loads done within an hour, so we don't get charged for another hour. That's what we want to be doing. Do we want to change anything on that? No, I think we're going to leave that all as it is. Keep it as cheap as possible. So we're going to lease that. Now, as far as the truck goes, I keep saying truck, it's doing me head in. Lorry. As far as the lorry goes, we can use mesh pellets, delivery, transport lorry. When I was down there, when we were doing the pellets, we were talking to them, absolutely no problem at all, they don't mind us using it. There is one catch to that though. They have, as you probably saw in the previous episode, a load of pallets already sat in their warehouse next door. The catch for me using their lorry is that I transport those pallets for them to the sale point, so they haven't got to do it themselves. I will be doing that. So that's kind of the payment. It's a trade-off. I won't get any money for those. It's their stuff, it's their product, they'll get paid for it. All I've got to do is do the transportation for them, so that's the fee for using their lorry, which I'm more than happy to do. We're only going to be out, like I say, hopefully less than an hour. What I need to do is just check with Stuart, make sure he's moving over to the next field, so I'll do that in a second. But we'll whiz down to Mesh. That's what I mean, I drove straight past, because in my head I was thinking, I'll pick up the lorry, we'll go to the store, we'll get the trailer. In all my chatting, just drove straight over. I have been offered the use of a caravan. I've got to work out, and there's loads of them all over the place, because I've been in the B&B and I was offered the use of someone's caravan. So rather than paying for the B&B and stuff like that, you're more than welcome to stay in the caravan I've got. So potentially, although I'll be honest with you, the B&B is incredibly comfortable. It's very, very comfortable, and the breakfasts, as I've said before, are delicious. So if I go and stay in a caravan, it's not going to be as comfortable necessarily, and I've got to do my own breakfast as well, which I don't know if I can be bothered with all that. So their lorry is here, so that's what we're going to use. We are, and here's all the pallets. I've got to deliver these for them. That's the fee. Now we are going to be doing more pellets, and hopefully before the end of this episode, once we've got the digestate delivered, we're going to move straight on to prepping for doing hay. Now I'm going to be baling the hay, but instead of bringing it down here and palletizing it, we are going to bring it down here and pelletize it. I'm going to do a little bit of a test, so it's going to be a similar process but with a different end result. So rather than getting pallets, we're going to do pellets through their pelletizer, but probably put the pellets into storage, and we'll deliver the pellets. Now the test we're going to do with that, I have been told that you get more money and you'll get more product. You'll see what I mean when we do this. It's difficult to kind of put it into words so it fits the narrative, but we'll get more product by bagging than we will by loose, although the prices are at the moment the same. Because we'll get more by bagging, we'll make more. So potentially with pallets we'll make more money still anyway, but I want to test it out. So what I'll probably do is put maybe, I don't know, 2 bales through. We'll do it normally on pallets to see what we get. Then I'll do 2 bales through and just get pellets, and then we'll sell those and see what we get. Whichever comes out the best, then the rest of the bales will go through that process. And the problem is we're going to have a lot of bales. So for you guys it won't be too bad. For me it's going to take absolutely ages. As you know from when we did the no, don't want all of those on, that's how blind everyone else on the road. Yeah, from when we did the silage bales, we're going to end up with 166 bales. I only bought 18 down here the other day, and we made about 30 grand, which was brilliant. That was straw bales. We should make more on the hay anyway, but I don't think I'm going to do 166. Well, I can't do 166 for a start because we sold field 27, so we won't get as many bales anyway. But even if I said, oh, let's do 100, that's a lot. It's a lot of work. Oh, I don't know, maybe we will. At the end of the day, we want to try and make money, don't we? Oh, this thing shifts, so we'll be right, I think. We'll pick up that tanker, we'll whiz off and do it. So, like I say, this is fine. We've just got to cover the cost of leasing the tanker. So as long as we make just over 2 grand, we'll be alright. One of the loads, well, it's not necessarily one of the complete loads, but we are going to be... well, actually, I was going to pay Jeremy for, because we used his trailer in the previous episode, and he did mention the fact I was putting wear and tear on his machinery. But then, to be fair, he did say we're selling soybean through him, so he's making his money on the soybean that goes through him. But on the digestate, he's just going to flip it. And at the end of the day, I don't mind that. You know, we're going to sell the digestate to him. We get a price. It's not going to be a huge price. He'll then sell that on. If he's got someone else that he knows is going to buy it from him, I suppose we could try and find out who that person is and go directly to them. But this is how business works. Everyone puts their little bit on top, don't they? And you sell to one person, that person sells on. It's how people flip cars and houses and all that kind of stuff, isn't it? You buy a car cheap, do a little bit of work to it. Sometimes it's just a bit of detailing. It's a bit of washing the car, cleaning it up, doing the inside out. You sell it on and make an extra £200. You've made 200 quid. You haven't really done a huge amount to it, but you've made a bit of money. So it's the same process, isn't it, really? As long as I know I can sell the product and I know I'm going to make money, and it's free money, so, you know, apart from the actual time taken to transport it, it's not cost us anything. So I'm going to head to, since we're closest to here, let's come down here to Linton Biogas. Can I get in front of that car? Probably. This does take Digestate, doesn't it? I suddenly thought I was so quick to lease it in the thing, I didn't think to... Oh no, we are still blind in the car behind. Yeah, I didn't think to check actually. Assuming, of course, that the biogas plant's open. It's still a little bit early. Not sure if it's 7 or 7:30, but we can wait. I honestly don't know how much we ended up with. So that's been the first check, isn't it? To see what we actually end up with. I ended up putting more bales in here, so whatever we end up with here, we'll have a little bit less up at Whitney BGA. Let's have a look what we got. 156,000 litres, that's not bad. So, while that's filling up, I'll turn the engine off. I'm just going to give Stuart a bell, see how he's getting on. Now, just talking to Stuart on the phone, and looking on here, we've got a corn harvest we're doing for Rob, for the pigs. That one's for sunflower. We do need sunflower for the pigs. I'm just thinking, if I took on a harvest contract for one of the local farmers, use their equipment, so I take a little bit of a hit. It's not necessarily, that one's not necessarily about making money, but what we'll always find is we'll sell product for them, take it to the sell point. You always end up with a bit left over. Now we could either sell that and make money, or keep the product for the pigs. So potentially, once we've done fertilising field 17, we might take that one on, you know, on field 109. Yeah, I think we might. But that's something, yeah, we'll have to think about that. So I was just checking out living conditions. Just curious. Right, so Stuart has now finished on 12, as you've seen, finished on 17, which we took on, and we have decided, as a business, to take on the harvest job on 109. So I think today's plan is changing slightly. We are going to be delivering the Digestate. I'm going to get that done, but what we're going to do then is going to take on that that job, because I think then if we've got any product left over, that can go up to Rob to help feed the pigs. It just makes sense. We'll make money on the job and then we'll get the whatever's left. So kind of, I don't know, I just think it's a good idea. At the store, oh, we're going to drive past the store actually. I've just suddenly thought, no, you idiot. Probably not the best place to be doing this, is it? The machinery that we're borrowing the farmer's machinery. He's been called away, so we're going to be helping him out. But all the machinery's up at the store for us to collect. I thought I'd rather do that than use our own. We'll take a bit of a hit. Like I say, it's not necessarily about the money. It is more about I'm doing it for the crop. And sometimes when that does happen, it can be well worth it. If it's a really lucrative crop, it's absolutely worth doing it, because whatever you've got left over, you then make on top. I've often found doing jobs like that, harvesting jobs, you can make double what the contract is saying, if not more, because you fulfil the contract, and then whatever's left over is yours. So it is absolutely worth doing. Yeah, so we're heading up to the cow farm now. don't know how much this first load's going to be worth, but I think what we'll do is we'll take the shortcut. While we take the shortcut, we'll have a look. Actually, look at the beacons on, just to make people aware that I'm lethal. Oh, there it is. Look, actually the harvester's not as big. I was worried I wouldn't get the harvester out. It's a Russell mash. I didn't even look at that. For some reason, I thought it was a Massey. Nope, Russell mash. Right. Won't take us too long. Whoa, see what I mean? I'm not an experienced. I do have my HGV licence, but not in real life in the game, obviously. But I just don't drive them very often, so slow down through the town would be a good idea. I've got a few houses to let actually through here, which is a bit away from the farm. I was thinking of maybe I could let rather than. Mind you, the B&B, like I say, I'm happy there. It's right on the doorstep. It just works. Well, that van's sticking out a bit. Lose your front end on that, mate. See? Pull into the little lay-by, nip into the shop, come out and find the front end's gone. Some lunatic in a lorry came past. That's why you notice on the back of this it doesn't say how's my driving. I don't want to know what you think of my driving. Although, oh no, I've just suddenly realised something else as well. As far as how's my driving, I've got to get this into the yard of the cow farm, and that is tight, very tight. So yeah, oh dear. Might stop and have a cup of tea with Jeremy as well actually while I'm up here, if he's about. Swing it on the grass. I know I like that. Very big rutted tyre marks through the grass opposite, considering the amount of time he quite clearly spends on his garden and stuff, which is beautiful. It really doesn't help because they've got that little building there. Much as I get it, they want to sell their produce, and that's fantastic. So when you come up here from the road, you know what it's like when you drive past somewhere and it says farm shop or it says eggs for sale or whatever, and you kind of stop and you think, oh yeah, but do you want to drive up into a place you don't know? But when you come up here, you can see it. That little building is right there. You can see the little shop. You haven't got to go wandering about in someone else's property or land. It's right there, and I totally get that. It makes perfect sense. But for this, not so much. I don't think I'm going to get around here. I'm just going to make this not so good. If I do, I'm going to be nudging that fence. I mean, like, oh, hang on. I mean, that was inches. Oh. Where am I taking it to? Through here. Right. Oh, it's going to be a bit of a pain going backwards and forwards doing that, though, isn't it? Oh. We'll see how much we make on this as well. We need to make at least 2,000 or just over 2,000 to break even and leasing the trailer. Why are the cows in the manure pile? What are you doing? Right, so let's see, shall we, what 60,000 litres of Digestate makes us. Like I say, it's all extra, it's all above, so it doesn't really matter. It's not going to be very much at all, is it? That's why I prefer being on Sussex farms. Slurring Digestate down there was worth a bomb. Is this cow going to come walking through the trailer now? Probably. Just to wind me up. It's stopped. $60,000 litres was 3,571. So 2,000 has gone for the lease of the trailer. 1,571's ours. If we get that, I'm thinking we're going to get what we're going to get 2, 3, 4 full loads, maybe a little bit extra. it's nice. It's not massive money, but if it covers workers' fees or fertiliser, I don't really want to be buying fertiliser, but any of those things, it's got to be worth it, hasn't it? And like I say, otherwise it just sits there. I mean, I could use it as fertiliser, but then it means we've got, like I said before, we've got to then buy a piece of machinery to spread that fertiliser, which incurs more cost. It doesn't make a lot of sense, does it, doing it? Or does it? So, what we'll do is the next load, because we're up this way, and we'll alternate between the two. We'll go out to Whitney. Minute start. He's worried about me putting hours on his machinery. It would be really annoying if I put a dent in it. No, that didn't work as well. I don't know, I'm going to get round here this time. I think I was just at the right angle before. Nope. It's far more graceful on the way in. On the way out, not so much. I apologise, lorry drivers everywhere. Hang on man, hang on. Oh, squeaked it through. Okay. I may overtake here. I haven't got time, I've only got an hour and I don't want to be paying out more. Let's go. If you jaunt through the countryside. Oh, look, there's a caravan there in the woods. I said they were dotted around all over the place. Maybe it's there. Again, still a bit of a trek in it. Housefield 15 getting on. We put soybean in that last night. Seems to be emerging. Oh, I'll tell you what we did do. We left the gate open. Now I know with various different crops and seeds and plants and seeds that you plant and sow, you get different growth rates. You might have like a 100 day, 98 day, a 103, 110 day, and that's supposed to be the amount of time it takes from planting through to, well, I say ready to harvest. Fully mature, I guess, is the best way. When you harvest, then becomes a whole, when everything's dried out enough and that kind of stuff. The crop we're using here is a 3 day, probably 2 day. This is a 2 day crop. You can understand why. Just thinking now, actually, we may even have to have a rethink about getting this harvest done. I'll be able to start. I suppose that's probably the best thing, is maybe start in this episode, then finish it off in the next. That's maybe good. I'm just very conscious of I want to get some of this done. I'll do more off screen, and then we'll get the next bit done. So how much have we got in this? We had 156 in the other one. Oh blimey, that's a big difference. I thought we had loads. Oh, we're not going to get 4 loads then, are we? Oh, that's so annoying. The other biogas plant processed way faster than this one. Oh well, it's what it is. Okay, bit of a reshuffle. For some reason it stopped unloading, so I had to have a bit of a rejig. Back over to the cows. That only leaves about 24,000 litres left in this one, so we'll come back, do this, and so the next ones I'm going to do off screen. I will see you in a little while once all the digestate's been delivered. Then we're going to whiz up to the store. Well, actually, I'll take the lorry back. We'll go up to the store, grab the machinery that's on offer from the farmer, and let's go on to field 109. We'll get that done in this episode. Next episode, we'll then move on to making the hay. And I would imagine as well our fields won't be far off being ready to harvest after that, which means we'll get corn done and the rest of our soybeans, and we'll just keep plugging away. That's all we can do. We'll need to keep an eye on the JCB hours, because once we hit 20 we've got to make a decision what we're going to do on that. I mean, in essence it could go back, and then we'll just, if we are going to buy one later on. I'm thinking we're erring more on getting it now sooner rather than later, because whatever the cost is going to be, we can offset the cost of selling the old JCB, although the old JCB is not worth very much at all. So like I say, it's all a bit, just do the best you can, really, don't it? Whoa. Small amounts, or say small amounts of money we're making, small or large, is what I was going to say. We are making money. We're not losing money anymore, and that's the main thing. It's nearly 8:15. All of the digestate has been delivered. Well, I say all of it, all bar 6,000 litres. I think I might have got my figures wrong earlier. I'm sure we just did four loads. Oh no, it was 4 or 3. Oh, in editing I'll work it out. I think it was only 3. Anyway, we're up to 291,570. The trailer has been dropped off. We are whizzing back to mesh pellets. We're going to drop this off, grab the JCB, go back up to the store, grab the machinery. So after getting free money, we're now going to get free crops. It's all working out rather well, isn't it? So, like I say, in payment for that, we're going to move those at some point. We'll get down here, we'll move their pellet pallets for them. But we need to get back up there. We'll bring the harvester down, we'll get the harvester going first on 109. That was the field we did the big potato harvest on. Well, I've still got that open. When we did the potato harvest, that was the field we owned originally, but we had to get rid of the potatoes before we could sell the field. So that's the new owners. We're helping them out with that. Actually, I'm just wondering whether or not we might be better off. Oh no, so it might be a waste of the hours. I'm just thinking, if we've got machinery from the farmer, we're better off if they're lending us theirs. Why put extra hours on this? Although that said, this is going to be quicker for transporting than what we get given. Just comes down to a time element. I think the crops we're going to be doing need to be delivered up here to turbine grains. We haven't been up to this one yet, which is just along a little bit further from the store. So, well, I really shouldn't be driving with all-wheel steer on the main road, should I? I won't tell if you don't. Yeah, we should get up here, and I think the head is a fold-up corn head, isn't it? Yeah, there you go. Turbine grains just through there. That's where we're bringing it to. It's a little bit wider than the parking space. That's what we're looking at. Okay, so 7240. It's going to be tugging that. Actually, that's probably got more horsepower. Doesn't that go up to a 260 something? But Russell mash, nice. I do like this, the 161. This is what I was talking about. The guys here at the store don't really think today about machinery. How am I going to attach this? I think what I might need to do, let's just grab that. If I can just get in behind it, ever so slightly. Just give it a bit of a nudge forward, ever so gently. I'll do. Move that away for a second so I can get through. Do like those. Right. Anyway, getting sidetracked again. That's really not going to help coming at it from that angle. We're going to end up damaging something. Last thing we want is bent PTO shafts and all that kind of nonsense. Right. Let's go. This definitely needs beacons on. Very smooth. So I think if we swap this out for our New Holland, they'll notice. Pretty sure they will. Oh, that was a thing as well, wasn't it? Yeah, we're going to sort out the new harvester, or a different harvester. There's a guy locally, I'm not too sure, I don't know the area that well, but as I understand it, imports and exports and gets machinery from all over the world in and out, but not just new and used and all sorts of stuff. So you get stuff coming in all the time. Potentially there'll be something that we can use, or buy, or exchange, or I don't know. Like I say, changing the harvester out, it's not a necessity at the moment, but in essence we could make a little bit of money by swapping out the harvester. I don't know. I'm still undecided on that actually at the moment, whether we're going to do that. But again, that's a decision for Mick and Stuart to make. I can posit ideas, I can suggest things that might help, but at the end of the day it's down to them. It's their call entirely. So they've got a fair old pace. It's always much easier with the foldable corn headers. It's why I do like the Cressoni header as well. I really don't like fiddling around with header trailers and that kind of stuff. That's why I do like the ones that have the built-in trailer, the big drapers and stuff. Although there are a couple of small ones now that do have them, but it just makes life so much easier. So 109 out to the T-junction, take a right, then a left into the fields, then another left as far as I recall from last time we were along here. There was a contract that came up overnight for cotton harvesting, which you don't really see in the UK. I did consider that because cotton can be very lucrative. Again, especially if you've got extra. If you fulfil the contract and you've got some left over, you can make a tidy bit of money doing cotton. Oh, gate's still open. Not my field, not my problem anymore. I'm assuming the owners have left it open, and this one. Or maybe they've opened them for us to come in. Oh, that's very handy, very helpful. I suppose it's always possible that Stuart left them open when he did the, was it Debbie, did the spraying down here last. Oh, I can't remember. Right, beacons off. Open up the header. Open up the harvester. It's not the biggest header in the world, but see, look, Big Daddy, I'm learning. Every time. I don't know why I always just naturally go to the right. I don't know why. But I need to go to the left so my auger is facing the right way when I'm ready to unload. Every time I do it the wrong way, but this time I remembered. Curious to see just how much we get left over. I mean, at the end of the day, whatever we get left over, it's going up to the pigs, so it doesn't really matter how much is left over, unless it's loads and loads and loads and loads, in which case we might better sell a little bit, but I don't think it'll be that much. Well, it does mean once this field is harvested and it's recycled, we may get another fertilising contract come up on here as well. So I'll keep, that's the thing, keep ticking over those small jobs, fertilising jobs. I don't do many cultivating contracts when they come up, actually. I don't often do those. Fertilising for me is the most lucrative, and what's even better, like I say, if you do, we are going to switch over as soon as we run out of spray, liquid fertiliser, we are going to move over to using the Agramash BM75. If you do that, it's all profit, because you can go and do those jobs and it's not costing you a penny in fertiliser. It takes a little bit longer. I say it takes a little bit longer. Again, it's one of those situations that whilst the actual Agramash, and you'll see it, and it'll be coming up in a couple of episodes time, I would imagine, once we run out of spray, it's not as wide and doesn't spray as wide as spray does or fertiliser spreading does, but it's quicker. I think it runs at, does it run at 10 or 12 miles an hour? Maybe it's not that fast, I don't know. If you've watched any of my Let's Plays, you know it's one of those bits of machinery that you kind of fall back on. There's always things that you will find you use a lot because you like them, you find them useful, and you know that they become a kind of staple of whatever farm you move to. There are certain things that you will often fall back on. It's a bit better. So, once I get to a point where I can, maybe if Rob's available, just trying to think, I know Debbie's got work to do, she's busy this morning. Stuart has been doing spraying, but he's done, so maybe Stuart can come over. And then they can carry on with the harvest, I'll haul, so we can kind of get it all done. All bounce between the two jobs, doesn't matter. But once I can get into a position where I can set them off, we'll get a worker cracking on this. The yield's not going to be massive, and it's a fair size field, so I don't know, we'll see. I honestly can't see us getting much more than one load. The problem with that is you always run that risk of when you're unloading, if you hit contract complete while you're unloading, to try and stop it unloading, whilst you'll make a bit of money, if it's the crop you're trying to keep hold of, you can often lose some. Again, it's a trade-off. I'm sure there's probably somewhere locally we could buy sunflowers if we wanted to. Okay, field 109 is done. As you saw, Stuart needs a little bit more practice in the harvester. In any harvester, I think, really, not just that particular harvester. But anyway, that went a bit squeaky. We have got about 25,000 litres, I think we're going to have in the end, aren't we? Now, the problem I've got is, unloading this, there's no grain door on this one. Yeah, 25,142 litres. So I'm going to leave Stuart to fold all that up, sort it out. Yeah, getting this just right, so as soon as it hits contract complete I need to stop unloading and I can keep the rest. That's where I need to be at. When we get up to the store, not the store, Turbine Grains, we'll have a look at the contract, see how far complete it is now. What I might do is in little bits, so I'll unload a little bit, check it, unload a little bit, check it, and then we can maximise what we gain from this. Now obviously the payment initially was 5,000 and something, but I think it was 1,000 something to borrow the farmer's equipment. So yeah, we're going to lose a little bit. I mean, I could have used my own harvester, but I don't have a corn header. So what it would have cost me to lease the corn header is less than what we lost for borrowing all the equipment from the farmer. So it just made sense. Well, maybe. Don't know. Let's have a look at this one inside, shall we? This is pulling no problem at all. It doesn't go as fast as the JCB, but it doesn't matter. Now the pigs themselves, actually saying about keeping this for pig food, Rob's pigs I've had, he's got 8 new ones. I think he started off with, how many did he have, 24? I'm sure he's got 32 now. Apologies of late, my maths seems to have been off. I know the other day when I wasn't feeling very well, I think I made a couple of gaffes where I added something up and came up with a completely different number. I do apologise. Oh, this is struggling. Okay, I think we're over the worst of it. Turbine Grain is not a particularly large yard if I recall correctly. So we're about to see. Oh, I've hit the fence. And it's not my equipment either. Well, that's not good. Keep pulling. There we go. So, what we're going to do before we do anything, let's come onto here, check the contract. So we're sitting at 84% complete. Oh dear. So 22% transported. What we're looking at now, 89. This is going to be a bit dodgy, isn't it? Stop there. Oh, excuse me. Oh, it's just a fraction, right. Okay, we didn't gain a huge amount. We made 1,879 on what we just dumped by accident, but again, that's what I mean, in the time it takes it when it comes up contract complete, you then stop it, you've already unloaded some, so we've made a little bit of money, which is great, on top of the contract, which I think that probably covers the cost of borrowing their equipment. Plus we got 5,706 litres of free sunflowers. Not sunflower seeds, but anyway. So what I'm going to do before I complete the contract is use this to deliver it over to the pig farm. Not bad, all in a day's work. So Digestate's all gone. Once this is done, we'll bring it back over here. I'll grab the JCB, we'll head back. We'll have a look actually. So we are contract complete, yeah, so actually no, lease cost, it says there's 792, so we've actually made on it then. That's not too bad. We've got a sowing contract there. I could pick up a sowing contract. I'd have to buy seeds for doing that. Might make a bit of money. That one, I'm not doing. I'm not doing another potato harvest. I can't. What else we got? No, there's a few there. So anyway, I'm heading off to the pig farm with this. We have come to the end of this episode. Next episode we're going to start on the hay situation. Like I say, we're going to be doing something a little bit different with the pellets. We'll have a bit of a try with that, see how we get on. Our crops will be ready to harvest probably again either late today, maybe tomorrow. I'm probably going to leave it till tomorrow anyway. So as far as preparing hay goes, we'll probably do that later on, maybe after lunchtime today. But as far as this episode goes, we have come to the end of it. I hope you've enjoyed it. We're making progress, we're making money, that's the main thing. If you have enjoyed it, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.